Okay, hi guys, welcome to the Australian Formula One podcast, episode 43. And as always, you're joined by Max and Pep. And mate, the off-season continues, and I was away for a little while last week, so we didn't record last week. But here we are for another episode, mate, and...
the horrible off-season.
Yeah.
Sends a shiver up my spine. Yes, mate, but we're smack bang in the middle of it.
Mate, we are, and the big news, of course, is that Alonso still hasn't made his decision, but also that McLaren, the appeal has failed. Mm-hmm. And, mate, no surprise from me.
I was going to say, your thoughts on that, mate?
No surprise at all, mate. I really thought they didn't really have a case, and it wasn't right to finish the championship that way. A penalty, perhaps, but don't penalise the outcome of the championship. So I wasn't surprised at all, Max.
It was due to fail. It should have failed, in my opinion. I'm glad it did. I'm glad Kimi's been crowned officially the world champion, and that's now confirmed. They never had a leg to stand on, in my opinion, and I think justice has prevailed, mate.
Yeah.
And you know, let's all forget about this now, and hopefully next season we can press on with the racing and leave this type of crap to somewhere else.
Couldn't agree more. And of course, the silly season now means that there's a few positions to be filled, Max.
Where's Alonso going? That's the question on everyone's lips.
Yeah, where's Alonso going, mate?
We've heard rumours that his people are talking to Red Bull's people and so on and so forth. I still think the money's on him going to Renault, and I know we've discussed this in the past, but it's to me looking more and more likely Renault, mate. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I think Renault as well. That's the most logical choice. But as we've said before, until he moves, a lot of other drivers just won't slot into the positions. So we've got Glock. My friend Timo, Max.
Timo, oh, you're a massive fan.
I like Timo.
You like him as almost as much as you like Ant.
Mate, he was under my wing a couple of years ago, and
you showed him everything you knew, did you, mate? Love it.
Timo did well in winning the championship for the GP2 this year.
He should have.
So good to see that he looks like going to Toyota. Yeah. And Ross Brawn, Max. Ross Brawn to Honda.
Our mate Ross.
More news on the silly season.
Man, who'd have thought that Ross Brawn would have gone to Honda? I mean, that Nick Fry, he's a crafty young man. Yeah. Apparently, this has been in the wings for about the last 6 months. Nick Fry has apparently gone after Ross Brawn with gusto, and he got his man. And mate, I don't know about you. But in my opinion, I think Ross Brawn will get a couple of tenths out of both Jensen and Rubens Barrichello, purely by being there in their corner.
Mate, I just assumed that Ross Brawn would go back to Ferrari, and that would be it. That he would, end his career at Ferrari and get another job there.
Mate, you're not alone. I think a lot of people thought that Ross would, have his sabbatical and then go back to Ferrari. Yeah.
And there's been rumours forever that, quite a while now that Ross is going to move to Honda, but it actually happened. It's strange.
Oh, what a boon for Honda. Well done. I mean, a fantastic appointment. I hope you guys give him as much support as he needs and as much latitude to work. And watch this guy go from the pit wall, and he will get more out of the Honda drivers, no doubt about it.
And Max, old school name coming back into F1, Nakajima in Williams.
Yes.
So we'll see how he goes, but I'm just happy that Nakajima, the name, is back in Williams, back in F1.
Back in F1, yeah. It's great, and another Japanese driver on the grid. Let's see what he's made of. Don't have much more to say about him. I don't know enough about him to comment, but he obviously did the right thing by Frank. No doubt he brought a bucket load of sponsors with him. Let's hope so anyway for Team Willie's sake. But I was a little bit surprised, I must say, that Frank signed him, but Frank and Patrick signed him. But there you go, and he obviously deserved it.
Well, Max, probably the most exciting news story for me this week when I was looking through the...
Gee, I wonder what that is.
Was the Barcelona testing, and I'll tell you what, Michael Schumacher not only decides to test, but also test with a whole lot of other drivers, and we all saw the outcome, Max, P1, and he did it in style, mate, and I'll tell you what, I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
P1 on both days? Yes, thanks. Am I racing next year? No, not at all. No. I'm enjoying being free and all this.
It's a Sunday drive and he just comes out P1 and then, that was good fun.
But let's not forget, as you said, he was testing with a lot of other teams present. And quite frankly, in my opinion, Michael Schumacher should have embarrassed a lot of current F1 drivers. I'm sorry. For this guy to be out of the sport for the better part of a year, and to come back in and just top the timesheets on both days.
That's what I mean, man. He didn't go to Fiorano, he didn't go to Italy and just do a few quiet laps. He actually went to Barcelona and raced against, pretty much a very big field.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. It just goes to show the true class of the guy at the end of the day. And it'll be interesting with no traction control next year. I think, mate, you heard that Felipe Massa is none too pleased about that because he's never driven a car without TC before, or in the last couple of years at least.
It's going to be very interesting next year, no TC.
I think it's going to separate the men from the boys.
Oh yeah, for those those that have driven it before, they may be a bit more comfortable. But the guys who have only been in the F1 for a couple of years, mate, they could struggle.
All right, your thoughts on losing TC for next year, mate? You're for it, or you're against it?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah, I think it's great. Why not? Let the driver take control of the car, and it's also a big expense for the teams as well. So.
That's true.
I agree, cut it out. They've tried before, but I think this time they'll probably succeed.
So we've got standard ECUs across all the cars and no TC for next year. I think not having TC is great. I think it's a good step forward for our sport. As we all would agree, it brings the driving back to the driver rather than having to rely on aids. And it's going to teach a lot of these guys throttle control like no one's business. Can you imagine a wet race with no TC on groove tyres? It's going to be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, mate, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.